Welcome back, race fans.
I'm Nathan Johns.
And as always, I'm Russ Fritz, your guide through the wild, sideways world of dirt track thunder. It's August 6th, 2025, and if you're a sprint car fan, you know this isn't just another week on the calendar. This is the week, the ultimate proving ground. While the rest of the world might be winding down summer, the heart of sprint car racing pounds louder than ever right now, beating a furious rhythm across the Midwest. So we're going to get into that. Think about it. In the span of just a few days, we see the sport's toughest endurance test, the crown jewel for the 360s, a crucial tune-up for the big dance, and a high-stakes, high-dollar barn burner that kicks off the most anticipated week of the year. It's relentless, it's brutal on man and machine, and it's utterly magnificent. This condensed, high-octane stretch isn't an accident. It's a deliberate crucible designed to separate the great from the legendary. It's where championships gain momentum, careers are defined, and dreams are either forged in victory lane, glory, or are shattered by a flat tire, I should say, or a missed slider. It's a de facto playoff, played out on hollowed dirt under the summer sky. Tonight, we're talking the Ironman 55's grueling marathon, Rico Abreu's emotional coronation at the Knoxville 360 Nationals, James McFadden's Capitani Classic Masterclass, and Kyle Larson's continued dynasty at the Front Row Challenge. We'll break down the battles, analyze the strategies, and feel the raw emotion of a week that pushed drivers and teams to their absolute limits. And of course, Nathan is back just to keep us updated on the never-ending soap opera that we call NASCAR.
Dun,
So strap in tight, race fans, because this isn't just racing. This is switching grooves. What's up, Nathan?
Not much, Russ. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. I actually have to start getting things ready to demo this room that I'm actually sitting in. So,
Ooh,
we're gonna get all this ugly paneling tore down and some drywall put up. So this will be the last time they have to look at this ugly crap behind me.
I mean, can't see much of it anyways. That's a good thing.
Well, I guess that is a good thing, but I try to keep it hidden until I get a studio built. Unfortunately,
Sending
we
this to a few of our newer fans that I introduced to the show real quick.
So, what have you been up to?
Not a whole lot. We've been getting ready for Switching Grooves episode, possibly coming from Richmond Raceway. And then, of course, eventually I have to get ready for a honeymoon. So I'll be missing for about a week.
A honeymoon? Oh, yeah. Man.
Well, fortunately, I didn't get too far away from my theme. We did end up we are going to Bristol for the honeymoon. So I can't go too far wrong with that one. You got to have a little thunder on the honeymoon, I guess. So it should be fun.
Well, I guess I'll jump right into it, man.
All right, let's hear it.
All right, well, let's lay the groundwork. Early August in sprint car racing isn't just busy, it's intense. It's a concentrated burst of the sport's biggest events strategically packed together. Think about the energy, Fans traveling, teams hustling from track to track, media buzzing. It's the focal point. Everything orbits around Knoxville Raceway in Iowa, the undisputed sprint car capital of the world. The ultimate prize, the Knoxville Nationals for the 410s, looms large. But the week before is where the narrative threads are woven. It's a pressure test. It actually creates a maximum impact. Fan engagement peaks, media coverage saturates, and sponsors get prime visibility. But crucially, it tests teams like nothing else. It demands peak performance repeatedly across different tracks, different car specs, 360 versus 410, and actually different race formats. So the mechanical durability, well, check. Driver adaptability, check. Crew chief strategy under pressure, double check. It's more than wins. Momentum right here is actually currency, Nate. A strong run builds confidence and attracts sponsor interest. A stumble can actually derail a season's entire rhythm. It's where future deals are subtly influenced and reputations are solidified. The Ironman 55 and Knoxville 360 Nationals, the Capitani Classic, and the Front Row Challenge aren't isolated events. They're actually interconnected chapters in a season's most critical story arc. This past week, August 1st through August 4th, was that story in high definition. So the Ironman 55, well, that was actually Buddy Kofoid's endurance breakthrough. Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55, Peevely, Missouri. A track that Buddy knows well. The World of Outlaws actually... I was going to change what I said about something for Buddy, but anyway, the World of Outlaws actually presents its longest race, which is 55 laps. Forget the usual 25 to 30 laps. This is actually a war of attrition. 25,000 and that iconic Brutalist dumbbell trophy. Have you ever seen that? I can't hear you.
Oh, there we go. I have not. I'll have to look it up now. I just realized I bumped my mic.
Yeah, go look that up. It's pretty neat looking.
I'm going to have to look that up. I'm actually going to drop my camera so I can look at it real quick.
But tire wear is critical. Fuel strategy, well, a major factor. Mid-race adjustments during an open red, absolutely essential. It's a test of the entire team's preparation and the driver's patience in pacing. Now, Carson Macedo came in hot. He won the night before the Ironman, smoked the dash, grabbed the pole, and checked out early. He looked untouchable, poised for a weekend sweep and his first Ironman crown. Then, lap 15, caution, flat right rear, game over, just like that. The dominant force is out. A stark reminder of sprint car racing's razor-thin margin for error. What did that leave us? Well, that left us Haudenschild versus Kofoid. Inheriting the lead, Sheldon Haudenschild, a two-time Ironman winner, mind you, he was actually eyeing a record-tying third dumbbell trophy. But breathing down his neck was Buddy Kofoid. Started in fifth in the Roth 83. So Haud actually fended off early restart challenges, but Kofoid was a persistent shadow, biting at his lip and biding his time. And Haudenschild himself admitted post-race the pressure was immense, unsure about the tire life or the best line on the actual critical late restarts. Lap 51, well, 4 to go, and Kofoid saw his opening in turn 1 and 2. A perfectly executed bold slide job, and he cleared Haudenschild and seized control. The key, well, crew chief Dylan Buswell. Kofoid credited those great adjustments under the open red, tweaks that made his car come alive for the final push. This wasn't just about early speed, It was about strategic adaptation and seizing the moment late in the race. So in victory lane, though, Buddy was quick to credit him with everything. So Kofoid drove away claiming his first Ironman title, his 8th World of Outlaw win of 2025, a new personal best, and his 18th career win, tying Brad Doty, etching his name in the 11th different Ironman winner, the 5th Californian alongside legends like Myers, Abreu, Larson, and Sweet. And this was actually a statement win, proving Kofoid could conquer the ultimate World of Outlaws endurance test and solidifying his championship contender status. Tanner Thorson actually fought hard for a stellar second-place finish. Howden Shields so close, but yet so far, had to settle for third. David Gravel, actually, he was a fast timer all weekend, ended up coming home fourth. Zach Hampton came home in a strong fifth. Schuhart, Schatz, Williamson, all top 10 finishers in a grueling test. The Knoxville 360 Nationals is coming up next, and that was actually Rico Abreu's dream realized. So August 2nd and 3rd, the 35th annual Extreme powered by Mediacom 360 Knoxville Nationals, presented by Southern Bank. This is why I always cut that part out, but I decided to throw it in this time. Make it a little interesting. But this is actually the event for 360 sprint cars, prestige history, and a huge $34,000 payday for the winner, including lap money. That's right. It was, I believe, $500 a lap that you led. So if you would have led all those laps, I mean, think of the money you could have made. It's a multi-night gauntlet demanding consistency. The preliminary battles, it was night one. Austin McCarl actually held off Larson and McFadden for the win. And night two, the main event preview was Rico Abreu versus young Ryan Timms, both 410 winners at Knoxville earlier in the year. Abreu made the winning pass on lap 17 and dominated the restart and claimed his first 360 Nationals prelim win, $3,000, but hey. And it was actually crucial points towards the night before, or the next night, excuse me. This format actually rewards sustained excellence, not just one hot night. And the main event, it was actually pole sitter Rico Abreu versus fourth starting NASCAR superstar Kyle Larson. Abreu led most of the laps, but Larson pounced on restarts. He capitalized when Abreu's engine actually stumbled slightly on one restart. I was able to honestly just take off before he did, but Abreu wasn't done. The final restart, Abreu knew he had to shut the door on Larson's momentum. I tried to cover the bottom lane just to block his run, according to what Abreu said. He executed the perfect race-winning slide job in turns 1 and 2, reclaiming the lead for good. Larson pressured, but Abreu actually held him off. 28 of 30 laps led, $34,000 earned. But more than the money, it's emotion and legacy. This was actually catharsis for Rico. His voice cracked post-race, and this was a dream since his first Knoxville start in 2013. Hopefully the turning point of just the consistency of my career and the hard work that we put in as a team. His 5th Knoxville win in just 7 starts that year, proof of his mastery. This win was about legacy, validation, and a mountain finally climbed. Larson, a hard-fought second. Parker Price Miller, a strong third. The top 10, Timms, Peck, Carson McCarl, Austin McCarl, Selzy, McFadden, Brian Brown. So that was actually an impressive drive from Brian Brown, though, too. The overall points, well, it was Abreu and PPM actually tied at 485. Carson McCarl had 483. Larson and Timms 478. Unbelievably tight, showing the depth required to win the Nationals crown. So, man, it was awesome watching it. I mean, I didn't think I would get into the 360 part of the Nationals, but I did. It was actually pretty neat. But moving on, the Capitani Classic, well, that was all James McFadden. it was literally just his night. So August 3rd, 2025, still at Knoxville Raceway, that the Avani Windows and Doors Capitani Classic presented by Great Southern Bank, less than 24 hours after the 360 Nationals concluded. This is the crucial final shakedown before the Knoxville Nationals for the 410s. Everyone who matters is here, dialing in their 410 sprints. It's high-stakes testing against the best competition imaginable. Psychological edge? Crucial data? Absolutely. James McFadden, or J-Mac as we all call him, was in a league of his own. Fast in hot laps, won his heat, started up front, and led all 25 laps of the feature. Never seriously challenged by anybody. His aggressive precision on the cushion early actually knocked the cushion, and he is actually clear off of turn 2, set the tone. Pure command. Days and Pursley held on for a solid second from the pole, then Knoxville royalty Blackjack Brian Brown. Another podium coming home in third. Continuing his incredibly consistent Knoxville week. 10th in the 360 Nationals, and the third at the Classic. Ended our night running third in the A. The car is good. The engine is good. The team is working really hard. That consistency at Knoxville is pure gold. So, great run by Brown. The top 10 featured Abreu in 4th, Macedo 5th, Selzy 6th, Austin McCarl 7th, Schatz 8th, and a lap 6 caution for Hodenshield stalling was a minor blip, but McFadden handled the restart flawlessly. This was a masterclass in 410 setup and execution at Knoxville, sending a massive signal heading into the Nationals week. So it's going to be interesting this week, man. Moving on to the front row challenge. It was actually a great race for Kyle Larson. I mean, he got to bring home some money. So that was actually last night, Monday, August 4th, at Southern Iowa Speedway. The 30th Annual American Rebel Light Front Row Challenge presented by Seafoam and Country Builders. $21,000 to win. This is it, the official high-octane start to the Knoxville Nationals week. Anticipation is electric. It's a single-night blast, a chance for momentum, and a final confidence boost. Kyle Larson started 6th, but qualifying quick time showed his speed. He was on a mission. By lap 2, passed Austin McCarl for 4th. Lap 8, a slider on Anthony Macri for 3rd. Lap 10, moving into 2nd, and closed in fast on young leader Corey Day. And Vintage Larson drove forward. Day led the first 11 laps cleanly, then caution. Macri spins from 3rd. The restart was actually the moment. Larson saw his chance, and he unleashed a trademark slider exiting turn 4, actually clearing Day and taking the lead. Hopefully it wasn't a short slider, though, so David Gravel didn't get pissed off, even though he pulled a short slider on Logan Schuchart, but we'll get into that later. Larson actually later explained that he found the slider line in 3 and 4 in traffic and capitalized when Day slid himself, actually in turn 1 on the restart, unexpectedly opening the door. Once ahead, Larson was gone, won by over 3 seconds. This wasn't just a win. This was his 5th front row challenge victory in just 7 years. His 2nd straight, his 4th in 5 years. Southern Iowa Speedway is Kyle Larson's personal playground, if you ask me. He actually understands its nuances like few others do. Corey Day, a strong 2nd. James McFadden used the bottom moisture late for 3rd and brought home another podium. Top 10, Kofoid, Timms, Macedo, Austin McCarl, Parker Price Miller, Hagar, and G. Heartbreak for Kerry Madsen, running 5th on the white flag, actually tangled with a lap car and took himself out. While Brian Brown, a tough scratch after qualifying due to power steering failure. A brutal reminder of the mechanical fragility, even for the best, in the demanding week. So, but man, what did this week actually tell us? Well, look at the names actually recurring across all 4 events. Larson, Abreu, McFadden, Kofoid, Timms, Hodenshood, Macedo, Brown. The other, both McCarrolls actually, and then PPM. It's actually a small, incredibly deep pool of elite talent. This week is their championship series testing versatility across tracks and specs head-to-head. Larson versus Abreu at the 360 Nats, an iconic duel. McFadden's consistency, win, 9th, 3rd, masterful. And Kofoid, a win in 4th, a rising star confirmed. Timms, second on the prelim night, 4th and a 5th. The future is now. So, I'm telling you what, man, these guys are, we got a lot of good guys coming up. And I'm excited to see what's going on. But, oh, man. Did you ever come back, Nate? Oh, there you are.
I'm here.
Oh,
I was just tuning in.
I didn't see you there.
I was a passenger for a little bit. I was just kind of watching what was going on. I had to come back. That trophy is kind of interesting looking. I won't lie. I think I had seen it before, but I didn't register that was what they were talking about. I thought that was kind of cool.
But you know what, man? What a week. I mean,
definitely seems like it's been a crazy week in the sprint car world. I will say that.
From a grueling 55-lap war at Peevely, where Buddy Kofoid actually etched his name on the dumbbell, to the raw emotion of Rico Abreu finally conquering the Knoxville 360 dream. I mean, it's been a roller coaster. Awesome. And from James McFadden's flawless, actually masterclass statement, making a run at the Capitani, and Kyle Larson doing what Kyle Larson does over at Southern Iowa, winning again and again and cementing a dynasty.
And again.
A dynasty. He's cementing a dynasty at the Front Row Challenge.
And then you've got the short slider, fiascos.
Well, the condensed high-pressure August Crucible delivered everything that makes sprint car racing actually breathtaking. And unpredictability, well, Macedo's flat tire.
We got a lot of it. We got a lot of unpredictability.
Well, yeah. I mean, look at Macedo. Like I said, his flat tire strategy. Okay, Kofoid's mid-race adjustments on that open red, that was perfect.
Oh yeah,
they did exactly what they needed to do. And Abreu's restart defense was actually just skill. Larson's charge, McFadden's cushion pounding. Well, look at that. That's all skill. Now emotion. Well, look at Rico in victory lane. And rising stars. Well, we've got Kofoid and Timms just announcing their arrival this year. I mean, Buddy did good last year, but this year, Buddy's on a rampage. Veteran prowess, well, everywhere you look. I mean, Brad Sweet, Donnie Schatz, all those guys, man. This week wasn't just about individual wins. It was actually about proving you could survive and thrive under the brightest lights on the biggest stages against the tough competition and back to back to back. It actually tested tire management, restart execution, lane choice adaptability, and sheer mental fortitude. The narratives born here are triumphs, heartbreaks, and rivalries ignited that will actually echo through the rest of the 2025 season. The momentum swings, the confidence gained, the lessons learned under fire, they all flow directly into the ultimate challenge, the Knoxville Nationals this weekend. The War of August 2025 Sprint Car Week will resonate for a long time. It defined contenders, showcased legends, and reminded us why we love this sport. The speed, the dirt, the strategy, the sheer, unadulterated passion. It was a masterclass in what it takes to be the best. So, it's just my opinion. But I'll let you switch grooves over to NASCAR.
Well, I've been a little far behind on my updates. So anybody who's, been living under a rock for the last few weeks, and this will be the update for you. Prior to Iowa last week, Austin Hill was finally suspended. They suspended him for one race, and Austin Dillon, conveniently enough, another Austin, was to take over the 21 car. Well, we know Austin Dillon is not exactly very good in the Cup Series, and he isn't much better in the Xfinity either since then. As I think they made it to like halfway through lap 4, and he's already wrecked over in turn 1 and 2. I believe he got taken out by Ryan Sieg. Backed it into the fence just a little bit, hurt the car a little, but not a lot. I don't remember exactly where he finished at, but it wasn't a great look for the replacement driver. But on top of the Austin Hills being suspended and replacing the car for Iowa, he will start the playoffs with 0 playoff points, which means essentially he went from the 3rd most playoff points to now he's going to start dead last. Honestly, probably should have thought that one through when he made that move on Eric Almirola at Indy. But that's just me.
Dumbass.
Maybe simmer down a little bit, not have so much anger issues. Maybe go talk to a counselor. Might be a great idea, Austin Hill. I mean, I really don't have any nice words to say to him right now, because that's a chicken move in my opinion. But we'll go back to a little more happier news. For those of you who missed Chicagoland Raceway, you've now got your wish. Chicagoland is now back on the schedule for NASCAR's 2026 season, which honestly, I'm not so sure I'm against the move, because, people have been wanting it to come back. We haven't raced on the surface since it has aged as much as it has. Now, granted, we do have to give up the Chicago Street Course for this, but then again, we're getting a new race in San Diego, so I'm okay with that. And I still haven't figured out what they're going to do about the Mexico race. I'd kind of like to see them toss that up a little bit and see what we go from there. But
get rid of it.
I am kind of excited for the San Diego race. I want to see how that turns out, especially because, they're doing it for the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Armed Forces. So I can understand that one. It's more of a political race, but I can get on board with that. And with them becoming now in the Western market with California, it replaces Auto Club a little bit, not a lot, but it helps. And they still have their feet in the Chicago network. Without the street course, they're going to go to Chicagoland. So I can understand the move. I'm not sure how many people are actually going to go to it, but then again, we'll see. I mean, we have until next year to see if it's going to be a success. I mean, San Diego is only for 1 year, unless miraculous means we somehow get this every year. But for now, it is San Diego for 2026, back to the street course in 2027, and we'll go from there. So it is kind of a weird off season, kind of like they did with the Olympics, which I don't know how I feel about that.
What do you mean back to the street course?
Supposedly in 2027, they will be going back to the street course in Chicago. So it is kind of a one-off year for Chicagoland.
Huh.
Which I thought was kind of an interesting way to go about it, because they want to keep their feet in the Chicago market, which is a pretty big market. But they also are playing the game of, playing into the political side with, doing this on a Navy base for the 250th year of the Armed Forces. So I can see where they're going. Kind of an interesting way to play it, but, I could kind of get on board with it. But for also anybody who's been living under a rock, Stuart Friesen was in a very, very, very serious modified accident. I believe he is still in the hospital. He was transferred from Canada to a New York hospital. I don't remember if they listed the name yet, but he is currently in the hospital. He suffered I believe it was some sort of book fracture where his pelvis is broken in multiple places and
Ouch.
a broken leg. So he is definitely in a lot of pain. Definitely will be out of the car for quite some time, or out of the truck for quite some time. With that being said, on the other hand, Caden Honeycutt was dropped by Nice Motorsports within the last week and has been announced to be the driver of the 52 truck starting at Richmond. Now, somehow, and I'm not sure how Stuart Friesen or how Nice Motorsports pulled this off, but they've got Connor Zilich covering the 45 truck at Watkins Glen, which is going to send them through the roof. because they're already ninth in points. If they can win a race and build on the owner's points, that just puts them in that better of a shape for next year. But from what I understand, the 52 truck is going to be driven by Christopher Bell at the Glen, and then Caden Honeycutt will take over at Richmond. So that's kind of the best of both worlds for both teams. I mean, Connor Zilich is going to take over Nice, and I don't remember if they announced who's taking over after that. But it is kind of interesting to see how that one's going to play out. So I'm kind of excited about that. One of the more, I'm going to call it bizarre stories I've seen this week is Colleague dropped Josh Williams. Now, granted, he is probably the lowest ranked driver on the team right now, but at the same time, he was bringing in a decent amount of sponsorship, at least for himself. He basically sponsored the ride himself with the sponsors. But I will admit his performance has kind of dropped off. It really hasn't been anything great to write home about, but I think the fan experience is what really hyped up for me. Because Calic with Alex Bowman, not the greatest, but he's got that, fan side of him. So, I don't really know how I feel about that. Bowman the showman. You got Josh Williams with his, infamous, Atlanta walk-off, which was still one of the bigger highlights I've seen. So it was kind of entertaining, but it is kind of sad to see Josh Williams dropped by Colleague. I don't know if they've announced the replacement driver for that one yet or not. I'm not sure. But let's start with Iowa's recap. William Byron channels his inner Joey Logano and somehow made it, I believe it was 144 laps on a tank of fuel, which is rather impressive and sounds an awful lot like, what was it, Joey Logano at Nashville, I think it was, which was quite impressive at least. But definitely, me watching it on TV definitely had me on pins and needles because, USA didn't really do him any justice. About 2%, they shut off the percentage of fuel left. And it kind of left us all wondering if he's going to make it on fuel. I mean, he kind of, for lack of other terms, he toyed with what? Busher. He was toying with Keselowski. I forget who else he had there. He was basically toying with them the entire end of that race. If he was going to make it or not, he let him catch up, and he'd pull out again. Then he'd let him catch up again because he was saving fuel, and he'd take off again. And somehow he had enough fuel to get across the line, come back around, do a burnout, and then I think he ran out there. So it was a little more entertaining than I thought it was going to be. Definitely a nerve-wracking race. But, if we're talking about recent patterns, let's talk about Hurricane Hocevar is at it again. Or should we call him Hammer because he just beats the crap out of equipment.
Yeah, really.
It's pretty bad when, and I feel for Zane Smith right now, it's pretty bad when you get taken out by somebody accidentally at Indy. I mean, it wasn't a hook like Austin Hill and Eric Almirola was. It was more of a misjudgment. And I give credit to Christopher Bell. He went to the 38, I think it was the 38th pit crew, and apologized to every single one of them, which I would have been waiting for a brawl. So I can respect Christopher Bell's move to go and apologize to the team, and it wasn't intentional from his point of view. So
at least he had some class about it.
Yeah, he had some class. I mean, I don't know if I could say the same for Zane Smith's pit crew after Hocevar got out of the car, because there's a photo floating around of Zane Smith's crew going after Hocevar after the race, which, to be fair, was probably warranted given the fact of Carson Hocevar's history. So, I mean, I guess I can't really, blame him for going after Hocevar. He's not, known for being a very, I would say, apologetic driver, but more of a clean racer, I guess you'd call it. A little over-aggressive, maybe. I think that's a better term of putting it. But, yeah, I don't know if I blame him at all. And after this, the amount of luck that Zane Smith has had, you could see the tensions rising, and you could just see that eventually they're going to snap. If they haven't had any luck, if they don't have bad luck, they have no luck at all. It's that bad. I'm feeling for them because it sucks. But I'd like to get on to my Watkins Glen preview, and this is what I'm really looking at this week. We know SVG is really good on road courses. He goofed up last year, and Chris Buescher ended up stealing one away from him on the final lap through the bus stop. If SVG learns from his mistakes and he wins this race, now I'm not saying that he's going to be the winner, but in the chance that he wins, we now have SVG as the number 2 seed behind Denny Hamlin. And the only reason that is because obviously Denny Hamlin's really good on ovals, along with, getting stage points. SVG, all his stage points and wins have been from road courses. This is kind of playing into his favor. If he wins Watkins Glen, he now moves into second place because he's got 4 wins just like Denny, which then completely shuffles the playoff standings, because if he can get through the first few races and not drop out of the top 12, he can then get on to the Roval and win a race there and get on to the Elite 8. And then we could see something that I don't think has ever been done, but have a rookie in their first full-time season go to Elite 8. At least not that I'm aware of. I'll have to go back and check that for next episode. But as far as I can tell, it's the first time you've ever had a driver in their first full-time season go to the Elite 8, unless it's like the first year of, the playoffs, which I can't remember anything of that far back. But this could be a big year for Trackhouse in the playoffs. Granted, Ross Chastain kind of has been mediocre this year. I'm a little disappointed with his standings. Obviously, Suarez is going, elsewhere next year. But there has been talks that Justin Haley and Suarez may make a switch mid-year. I've seen rumors about that, so don't quote me on that. But there has been talk that possibly Justin Haley's on the hot seat, and this silly season could get interesting because if we remember last year, Haley and LaJoie made a swap mid-year. Could this be, round 2 of mid-season, before the season ends, ride swaps? Only time will tell.
Talk about switching grooves.
Definitely switching grooves, switching teams, switching, the whole 9 yards. So it's definitely going to be a wild end of the year. I mean, with SVG being behind Denny, if they get no repeat winners at Richmond or Daytona, we could be talking about a rookie number 2 seed, which could completely flip the script for, the playoff standings. And I'm actually very excited to see how this is going to play out. If we get another Denny win, then yeah, that would obviously put him as the number 1 seed, because I can't see SVG winning, Daytona. I mean, I've seen bigger miracles, but that's probably bigger than, the Hail Melon. Like that's a long shot on a long shot. But the remaining races for the top 3 series before the playoffs, obviously we're going to have the Glen this week. Richmond is next week, and then the regular season finale is at Daytona here in about 3 weeks, I think it is. Xfinity actually has 4 races left. They have the Glen, they have Daytona, and they have Portland, and then they're going to St. Louis, so Worldwide Technology. But with the Truck Series, you've only got 2 more races to win a race, unless you either point your way in. But, they've only got the Glen and Richmond. So, there is not a whole lot of wiggle room to get in. I mean, we've got at least 1 road course, 1 short track, and 1 super speedway, which is a wild card in itself for the Cup Series. We got at least 2 road courses in the Xfinity Series, plus a short track and a mile track, which and more of a flat track for St. Louis. I know that Connor Zilic has been on a roll. I don't see him slowing down any time at all. I could see him definitely winning the Glen, and I could probably see him winning Portland, which will definitely be an interesting race. He's already good on ovals, so we don't know. We might see him win the next 4 races and absolutely blow the Xfinity Series away. I mean, I've seen
Yeah.
a lot of crazy things, but this, with Connor Zilic possibly going to Cup next year, this could be the one chance SVG gets to dominate all these races, because I don't think it's going to get any better next year. It could get either really ugly between teammates, or this could be the greatest, I don't want to call it dynasty, but greatest team you'll ever get for a Cup Series team. I mean, you're going to have a lot of drivers who are going to be, rooting and gouging for wins, because Connor Zilic can win on ovals. He can also win on road courses. SVG can win on road courses. And apparently, just recently, he can now win on ovals, as he won the summer shootout finale, which is, if any of the Cup Series drivers or regular NASCAR drivers are watching, that's a scary thing, because now he knows how to drive an oval. We may have just unlocked Pandora's box. We may be screwed. But I'm definitely excited to see next season. With the Truck Series going to the street course, that just adds another road course to the list. So I mean, I'm kind of getting excited, but at the same time, I know NASCAR will somehow manage to screw it up. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. They always seem to get us really hyped and then absolutely disappoint the crap out of us. But at least we have a new NASCAR game coming. That's a starter. The new NASCAR game will be out October 14th, and we now have all 4 series announced with their driver rosters. Some I would like to point out, because I know some people have heard my excitement, and I'd like to bring these to the people who haven't. The ARCA series is getting Cletus McFarland, which I know a lot of people are going to be going to that. And Andy, I can't pronounce his name now. But I'm going to hold it to the floor until I see God of the checkered flag. That guy. I am more excited, I think, to see him in the game and Cletus McFarland, because those are the 2 most epic quotes you will ever get. Is the Screaming Eagles and the Daytona quotes. You don't get much better than those. So I'm excited about that for ARCA. The big story for me, and I am super excited about this, they finally put Norm Benning in a NASCAR game. I've been waiting for the longest time to go to play as Norm Benning in the game, only because I got to be in the pit crew once, and I've been waiting for years to be able to be the driver of that car in the game. So I'm super excited about that. Some of the game clips are actually pretty awesome looking. I'm excited about that. One fun fact, they announced that Josh Williams would be dropped by Colleague and then put him in the Colleague car in the game as the number 11, which is pretty funny that he at least gets to ride it out for one more year. And then I believe it was just today they released the Cup Series driver lineup, where they've got Corey LaJoie, who is part-time in there. I don't know if Catherine Legg made the list. I have to go back and look. But they've definitely made some, typical driver lineup for this year. I mean, I didn't think there'd be much changing. But they did add some unique driver entries. Like they have Kyle Larson in the 07 for the Truck Series. But yet I believe they have Corey Day in the 17 in the Xfinity. So they've got an odd bunch of drivers for each race. So I'm kind of curious who's going to be what, and if we're going to get any more surprises. I'm hoping they do a DLC with like some of the throwback cars. Like I saw something about Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt and Alan Quickie. It would be kind of cool to get a DLC, but you never know. Be kind of nice. I mean, I don't know what tracks would be in the game. I'd love to see the Chicago Street Course, because that would be entertaining in itself, because then you don't have to go get iRacing to do it. But, they haven't released that yet. We're still waiting on that. We still got 2 months for the game releases. So I'm all for it. I'm excited for the new game. But, at the same time, I'm waiting for NASCAR to let me down somehow, because they get us all built up and then they just tear us apart.
That's NASCAR.
Unfortunately. But that's all I could rattle off this week. It was kind of a slow week between Indianapolis and now. I mean, there was a few updates, but Now it's getting to crunch time. People are getting a little more serious, or at least 37 of the 38 drivers are. Carson Hocevar is just still tearing stuff up. So,
yeah, they start calling him the Hurricane, like we said, he's more like the Hammer. Like,
I like talking to him in person. I mean, I got his autograph, I think it was last year at Daytona. But, he's kind of getting himself a bad reputation. But, I mean, to be fair, so was Ross Chastain, and he, definitely put a silence on Denny Hamlin for a little bit there. So
I think Larson was actually pissed off at him or Chastain this past weekend too.
I believe it was something about Chastain and Elliott got together on a restart. I have to go back and look, but I haven't seen anything about Chastain and Larson.
Well, Kyle I heard Kyle was pissed over the radio, even saying, these guys want to call themselves teammates.
Well, I know that there was a bit of a moment between Elliott and Larson where I think Elliott just kind of threw it in there, and the hole kind of closed. I mean, I can't blame it all on Elliott because he saw the hole and he went for it, and it closed up as he got there. But definitely a bit of a interesting moment there. And then, of course, you got the 38 crew growing after Hocevar. So, I mean, it's playoff time of year.
Oh, absolutely.
So, and I'm just excited to get through the Glen so we can get to this Richmond race. That's what I'm really excited about. I haven't been to a race there yet, but I've been to the track. So,
yeah, it'll be fun.
I'm super excited. I was still doing research on the seats. So if anybody knows where Capital H is and they've got a good view of it, let us know, because we're trying to look for a good view to see how good our seats are.
Maybe we'll run into Andrew while we're there. Remember Andrew?
Never know. And if there's any fans tuning in who would like to come up and say hi, we'll be over, and I believe it's Capital H. Come say hi. You'll probably see us. Maybe we'll sign an autograph or something if you see us. I don't know. We'll find somebody. You tune in, you see us, come say hi.
Andrew, I think, is like the next section over from us. So
that'll be cool.
But oh man, I don't know. It'll be fun, but
I mean, 3 races in a year is almost a record for me, so I'm getting excited. I think my record is 3 races in a year. It might be 4. I have to go back and look.
I'm sitting on my wire here.
Well, don't do that.
There we go.
That's no fun.
Because my wires run over my ears and back behind my head. So
you gotta get one of these so you look like a broadcaster.
I don't like those. They're uncomfortable.
I mean, you just gotta make them loose. That actually look kind of professional, except for the fans flying around above my head. I
don't like wearing those damn things when I'm on the flag stand.
I can't hear anything else, so it makes it so I'm not distracted, which is very easy.
Oh, these in-ear monitor things are actually pretty comfortable, so I didn't think I would like them, but
I'll have to look into those eventually.
I know I've been messing with different things for the last year or so. So I finally found something I liked. I was messing
with my light. I couldn't figure out what lighting I wanted.
Right. Well, Nathan, I think we'll shut it down there.
I think we're good with that too. I've got enough NASCAR stuff to get through this week, so I think we're good. I mean, Watkins Glen, 4 hours away. Maybe I'll get lucky and somebody will have a spare ticket. Who knows? Never know.
So,
but I think that about wraps it up on my end. So if you're ready to close, I am too.
Hey, I'm good. That's gonna do it. That's gonna do it for this episode.
So, with Switching Grooves, I'm Nathan Johns.
And I'm Russ Fritz. I hope you actually felt the dirt fly and the rubber sling and heard all the engines scream. I don't know.
Try something new.
Saying goofy stuff, just trying to be silly.
That works.
But remember, guys, we bring you insane motorsports moments, detailed breakdowns, and adrenaline-packed edits every single week, right here on Switching Grooves. Whether you live for those sideways mudslinging dirt sliders or the rubber throwing, paint trading speed of NASCAR, you belong right here. Hit that subscribe button below so you never, ever miss a finish. Until next time, keep switching those grooves. And I'm Russ Fritz saying, race hard, stay safe, and we'll see you there. Good
Bye,
night.
everybody.